Energia All Ireland League Women's Division Conference Round 2. Wicklow the hosts here at Ashtown Lane, Ballincollig the visitors. It's a debutante derby in the AIL. Two teams in their first campaign finding their feet. On the head-to-head, a rousing win for Wicklow, 15-10 when these sides first met. Recent form, Ballincollig with a super away win in Malone just last week, 15-10 the score there. One place separating them in the regular season. It all suggests a competitive encounter today.
Come on, Wicklow!
Wicklow to get this one underway. Their team, Ella Roberts at full back, wingers Megan McConnell and Megan Parkinson, with Victoria Elms-Kinlan and Tammy Breen in the centre. Half-back pairing of Beth Roberts and Erin McConnell. The pack, Kathy Byrne, Robin Mullen, Lauren Barry, Jessica Schmidt, Caitlin Griffey, Emma Curran, Emily Ryan and Niamh Ní Grumma. For Ballincollig, full-back Lauren Fahey, wingers Heather Kennedy and Alison Kelly, a centre partnership of Jane Pennyfather and Mona Feely. Kelly Griffin and Gemma Lane, the half-back pairings. And up front, Alex Kineen, Clodagh Walsh, Roisin Ormond, Sarah O'Donovan, Denise Redmond, Caitlin Fleming, Niamh O'Regan and Ciara Fitzgerald. Hannah Tyrrell on analysis and co-commentary this evening in Ashtown Lane. I think it's fair to say we're expecting this one to be close, Hannah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, two teams that are new to the AIL this year and learning every game, and this should be a great derby for these two, and just great to see them in the AIL League and gaining loads of experience game on game, and hopefully this is a nice, tight, tense battle.
Positive start for Wicklow, attacking scrum on the 5. Good chat from the back line if that's where it's going to go. Ella Roberts on the move.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that Wicklow are going to aim to get this ball into Ella Roberts' hands. She's their kind of leader, particularly in that back line, and you know, she's a great player to have.
The carry is from Niamh Ní Grumma. And it is set the cat amongst the pigeons here. Forwards doing the work. Lauren Barry keeping it tight, Wicklow. Still with the pick and jam. Still in control. Another one there and it's held up. That's a good stop there by Ballincollig.
That's great defence by Ballincollig. You know, looked for sure there was going to be a definite try there. Some great carries from Wicklow, but stout, resolute defence from Ballincollig, and you know, their ball now 22 dropout, or try line dropout.
And this one to be dropped clear again, that change representing that it is a defensive win. However, there are counter-attacking opportunities here, Hannah.
Yeah, absolutely, depending on where this goes. Fortunately, maybe Wicklow let that bounce, but still really good attacking option for them now, and see how their line out goes.
Denise Redmond clearing the lines for Ballincollig.
Come on, Wicklow!
Denise, a very experienced player for Ballincollig, obviously former Galwegians player, has plenty of Connacht caps under her belt, and she's a huge leader for this Ballincollig team, and no doubt she'll be one that's stepping up for her team today.
In a recent survey issued to Energia All Ireland League Women's Division players on what they'd like to see in terms of promoting this particular level of rugby, Denise's comment was, forwards can kick too.
Yeah, well, look, she showed that there. You know, she's playing second row today, and nice clearance kick for her team there.
But it is Wicklow on the charge. Elms-Kinlan does well there.
Get in there!
Out the back again. This one goes loose. Roberts dives on it. Good support there. But it is a Ballincollig ball.
Yeah, just unlucky for Wicklow. I think communication lines were a little bit crossed there. I don't think they were expecting it. And unfortunately, ball doesn't go to hand, and Ella Roberts knocks it on as she's trying to clear up that little bit of a mess. And here's an opportunity for Ballincollig to get their hands on the ball.
Come on, Wicklow! Big push, girls! Come on! Come on, Emma!
So a first opportunity for Ballincollig to show what they can do in this game, albeit from inside their own half. Griffin does well. Jinking moving, she's got pace. So no 10 here, but it is through the hands. 12-13 and out to Lauren Fahy.
Come on, Anna!
Still going, Ballincollig. Down the short side, Jane Pennyfather. Number of options here. Kennedy with the carry. This is patient phase play. It was Denise Redmond who was really looking to take that hard line there, but it's turned over.
Come on, Wicklow!
Yeah, big tackle going in there from Wicklow to force the turnover, and that's a really good boost for Wicklow considering Ballincollig had kind of gone through the phases and had a lot of positive play there. So again, another opportunity for Wicklow to show what they can do and move the ball to their threats outside.
Come on, Wicklow!
Hannah, we've seen the change in this Wicklow team once they got that first W on the board and showed what they had to offer in this division. Quick hands there, but what's been your impressions of them so far this season?
Yeah, look, I haven't played against them the first game of the AL this season. I've been very impressed with them. You know, having come up, it's a completely new experience. You know, they're playing against the best players in the country, and one thing I've been very impressed with is the fact that no matter what the scoreline, whether they're winning or losing, they are giving 100%. They're getting stuck in. You know, they're never giving up and fighting for every single ball. And each game that we've seen them play, they've been improving game on game. You know, their basic skills, their execution, and then just like running lines in particular have really improved. And it's given them opportunities to, you know, get scores and get those wins. And they're only going to improve season on season, even game on game.
So a change on this Wicklow side.
Come on, shut him down!
Kelly Griffith, Beth Roberts moving into the scrum half position. Onto the field comes Sarah Gleeson. Ballincollig on the charge now. That's their first time to get into this half. And it's superb work in there from Wicklow. Jessica Schmidt in particular.
Yeah, that's unlucky from Ballincollig because they had great hands to get it to the space out wide, out to Heather Kennedy there, but just great resolute defence from Wicklow to get the turnover.
So Beth Roberts with 10 on her back, but she will be playing this game at scrum half. Sarah Gleeson coming in, the 25-year-old. She's played a bit of soccer in her time as well, so she'll have every shot in the locker for this game.
You want to join the party? Sure. The more we can get up here, the warmer it gets.
Wicklow can be happy with their territorial advantage so
Come on,
far.
Wicklow!
Niamh Grum has stayed out of that line out to be a carrying option, but tips it on. First chance to get into the game for Gleeson there. Ball goes to ground. It's that scything movement from Roberts there. One of the things that's put her on the radar with the Ireland squad, but the ball is kicked through. And again, Wicklow will be happy to turn around to say to their teammates, look where we are.
Absolutely, and that's nice phase play there by Wicklow. Managed to clean up the messy ball and put a nice kick through now, and all pressure on Ballincollig in their own 22.
Griffin will be disappointed with that. Another attacking platform for Wicklow here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this ball go down the short side. Ella Roberts just set herself up there. Maybe a pick from number 8, Niamh Drummond, down the short side, creating that 3v2.
Niamh, the player coach, does go the way Tyrrell called it, and it's Roberts on the run.
Again, great tackle in the corner there from the Ballincollig number 14, I think it was, Heather Kennedy. Excuse me, Alison Kelly, actually.
Massive carry there from Wicklow.
Come on, Wicklow!
Ball is dropped just when the try line was begging.
And again, that comes from Ballincollig. Oh, I think we have a penalty, actually.
Composure required here.
Definitely think, yeah, Lauren Barry with the ball there. Great carry again.
An important player for this home side. Heavy traffic in there. Gleeson up to the line and scores. Try Wicklow.
Yeah, great direct running from Wicklow there. You know, kept it tight, keeping the ball in hand and under the post there. Great score. Great start.
The set play. 8, 9, 15 as it went. Had Ballincollig in all sorts of trouble. Confident carries from Lauren Barry in particular on the recycle. And then some smart rugby from Gleeson to go in under the posts.
Nice easy one here for Roberts, obviously, to put it through, get her confidence up and put Wicklow 7 points up.
And leaving the score, Wicklow 7, Ballincollig 0.
Come on, Wicklow, let's go again!
That one has gone 10, will have to be played. So after a misfired restart from Ballincollig, it's scrum Wicklow on the halfway line. Roberts, Gleeson, fires the pass. Just missed Kinlan in there. Forwards ball.
Ballincollig looking a little narrow here, and Wicklow have huge numbers out on this left-hand side wing. If they can move the ball, it's plenty of space, plenty of opportunities. Try to get Megan Parkinson involved in the game on the wing for Wicklow.
Credit again to Lauren Barry for her strong carrying, sucking in players, creating space outside, making sure the pass Wicklow after a couple have gone to the deck. Good fight there from Kinlan.
It's a great carry there by Kinlan. Again, on the extended kind of rugby side. She was in Dubai with the Sevens development squad, and she has a huge future ahead of her.
Ballincollig sniffed an attacking opportunity there, but ball Wicklow.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ballincollig because, look, the opportunity for a turnover was there. It was just knocked on the ground while they were trying to get that ball. But really good fight in the tackle and in the ruck there.
Hannah, Wicklow are coming into this game off of a reasonably heavy defeat for round one in this new format for this conference, but they have shown their resilience throughout this, and I know one thing that you've noticed about them is the spirit in which they approach every game against every opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this season is a huge learning curve for them, their first season in the AIL, and they're just looking for improvements game on game, and it's great to see they have, you know, the likes of Ella Roberts in extended Irish squads, being able to bring back some of the experiences she's getting in camp to the team, and, you know, hopefully they'll just keep improving and keep putting in good performances, you know, and they'll come into this game thinking that they have a huge chance here of winning this. You know, the last time these two teams met, Wicklow won 15-10, so, you know, they'll be high in confidence that they can come out and put in a result in front of a home crowd.
Secure in the line out, Wicklow. Gleeson does well to pull that one down. The break is on. Elms-Kinlan finds the gap. Now it's Roberts.
Come on, Wicklow!
Nigroma, at the very least, you could say she was keeping the opposition guessing there. Hard line back inside.
Well, Lauren!
See Erin McConnell for Wicklow back on there, so that must have been a HIA reversed or something like that, but great to see her back on the pitch.
Advantage Wicklow.
Wicklow really stretching this Ballincollig defence, really putting them under huge pressure and pulling them from side to side right across the pitch, and gaps are starting to appear.
Nice offloading there in between Fleming and O'Donovan combining. Ball goes left. The dink. Well, that was on a plate there for Megan Parkinson.
Yeah, look, that's really unfortunate. Space was there, the opportunities were there, but unfortunately Megan Parkinson just couldn't get at that one, and it's a missed opportunity for Wicklow, but great eye to be able to spot that from Roberts.
Robin, are you able to get up half an hour early on Wednesday, get Niall up to look at the price ticket?
So with Erin McConnell back on the pitch, Roberts back in the 10, gunning for this one. Off the post, ball in play, well gathered there by Caitlin Fleming for Ballincollig. Looking the way to play their way out of trouble here, but it's into touch. Pressure still on from Wicklow.
Yeah, that's unfortunate from Roberts. It was a nice strike, just came off the post, but as you said, Fleming had her eyes on the ball, kept on it the whole way, and gathered that spectacularly.
So whilst we have had rugby in the last while, it's been with certain restrictions around it, a water break being one of them, and it's Wicklow who'll rejoin the game, attacking after their wee sus.
Yeah, that was great line-out defence from Denise Redmond. Almost had that line-out stolen, but unfortunately was knocked on.
So you would have thought that it was a chance for Ballincollig to reset, despite all their territorial concession. They are well in this game, but it is Wicklow still with a chance to do something here.
Come on, Wicklow!
Yeah, look, Ballincollig haven't really had their hands on the ball too much, but their defence has been excellent so far, and they've limited Wicklow to one try. And here come Wicklow again, and you know Ballincollig have to step up once more.
Great speed off the mark there to set up this attacking opportunity. Niamh Ní Grumma falls forward and gains ground. Quick recycle. Everyone's wide to it. Roberts to Roberts. Steps inside.
It's a missed opportunity there, in my opinion. They had a 2-on-1, and Roberts carried a great carry nonetheless and still have possession, but there
Caitlin
was a
Griffey
try
that
on.
time. Patience required. Lauren Barry. Beth Roberts barking orders, exactly what you want to see. Here she is, delays the pass, hits Ella outside.
Once again, Ballincollig keep them out. Their defence, Fiona Hayes has them well structured, and they're communicating very well, very, very loud on the pitch. And once again, they thwart Wicklow and get the turnover, force a forward pass.
Hannah Tyrrell, this is familiar territory for Ballincollig, but despite the pressure that they've faced, they've yet to hit the panic button and are looking to do something here as well.
Yeah, look, they've been playing great so far. Haven't had their hands on the ball too much, but as you said, here's an opportunity. Great clearance kick there from Kelly Griffin, and just to, for once, get out of their own 22 and relieve a bit of pressure.
On Wicklow!
Great take.
And it looks like Caitlin Griffey's left that one after her.
Yeah, and Niamh Ní Grumma saw a little gap there and went for the tip-on pass, but unfortunately Caitlin Griffey couldn't gather. And again, another opportunity for Ballincollig to either clear their lines or relieve a little bit of pressure. Maybe even opportunity to score themselves.
Kelly Griffin at 10 for Ballincollig, a confident boot in her own right, but when your main kicker is packing down in the row, it does make them consider their options in places like this. So we may see them run it for a phase or two before they try to clear their lines, but it will be another scrum for Ballincollig here. Good shunt from Wicklow, but it's the visitors as you were.
Let's go again!
Yeah, as you said, Denise Redmond's obviously main kicker for Ballincollig, similar to Hannah O'Connor being in the pack last weekend with Blackrock. But you know, this is an opportunity they could run it, keep their hands on the ball, go through a few phases.
Redmond, one of the only non-rebels in this squad. So many Cork players throughout the 22. Homegrown or brought in from the likes of Highfield, UCC, Mallow, Middleton. But Redmond's an Offaly woman. More than at home in Collig.
Wicklow really fighting hard at that breakdown to force a turnover.
Brave carry, but the rip is in. Wicklow are straight over this.
I think Beth Roberts has spotted some space in behind. There's nobody covering for Ballincollig. If she can see that, there'll be opportunities aplenty for Wicklow.
Kathy Byrne attacking outside the pillar. Was that crossing, Hannah?
Yeah, I think he's given it for crossing there. Yeah. So the referee's signalling, but again, another opportunity for Denise Redmond to put Ballincollig into Wicklow's half and put a bit of pressure and go through the phases. Great clearance kick there by Denise Redmond. I was ready to catch that if it came my way.
Wicklow.
Sloppy ball.
So after a relieving kick from Denise Redmond, it's Ballincollig on the attack. Griffin hits her 8.
It's a great carry by Ciara Fitzgerald. Blind is on if they see it.
And that is Roisin Ormond, such a strong carry for this team. Goes for the offload that time. Forwards excelling here.
That was a front row masterpiece. The whole front row for Ballincollig hooking up on the blind side where there was plenty of space, and this is a good period of pressure by Ballincollig. Just moving into Wicklow territory.
That's Ormond again. Such a threat with ball in hand. Gemma Lane in there. Lane, a surname, and when you see it, you know you're getting quality at 9. Obviously, her sister, current 7s and 15s international. Griffin, line speed was impressive from Wicklow there, but Ballincollig still going. That was Fahy. And this is Ballincollig into the 22 for the first time in this game. Penny Father.
This is great work from Ballincollig. It's the first time we've seen them with ball in hand for extended phases, and now they're finally putting Wicklow under a bit of pressure, and you know, gaps are starting to appear. Oh, just as I say that, turnover.
Well, signs of optimism for Ballincollig. To be fair, they looked in control for most of that. And I have to say, some really exciting carries in there. You know, Fleming and O'Regan in the back row, Roisin Ormond as we saw, and comfortable with their ball scales as well. But Wicklow with the chance to relieve the pressure, but it's back with Ballincollig.
Yeah, missed touch there by Beth Robertson, cleaned up really nicely by the number 14 Megan McConnell, or number 14 Heather Kennedy, apologies, for Ballincollig.
Walsh and Redmond combining there, keeping the ball alive.
Huge tackle.
Massive hit there on O'Regan, still with Ballincollig. Forward carries, backs in to secure. Ballincollig ball, looking to maintain momentum here.
Just going back to that excellent tackle there by Vicky Kinlan. Huge tackle, really setting the tone for Wicklow's defence and putting Ballincollig on the back foot. Ballincollig got the penalty now. Let's see what they do here.
You'd have to call this the purple patch for Ballincollig so far in this game. Redmond the go-to. Here's Ormond. Keeps it alive again. Great interplay from these Ballincollig forwards.
Some lovely hands by the forwards here, and it's great to see the skills on show. And as I said, stretching that Wicklow defence and really making them put in the hard work and the big tackles.
Clodagh Walsh cuts back inside, does the smart thing. Now it's gone wide. Good rush from Wicklow. Big hit in there. The bench love it. Still with the Cork women. Still in this 22. Pumping the legs, a great attack. Ball spills loose. What way is the hand going to go? It's a Wicklow ball. And that one's been spilled forward.
That's unlucky. I think Ciara Fitzgerald thought she was through there. She was just caught on by the edge of her jersey and unfortunately trying to get the offload off. The ball just spilled from her hands, and once again, you know, Ballincollig showing what they can do but just can't get a score at the end of it. Ballincollig very narrow here, so if I was Wicklow I'd be looking to run it, but I'm guessing they're going to clear their lines here.
As they do, but that is a good touch finder.
Excellent kick there by Beth Roberts, and you know she's very clever in able to find the space, and she realised that the smart option there was to just relieve the pressure for Wicklow and, you know, back their defence to do their job.
If Wicklow can mount some phases here, maybe they'll feel like they've weathered the Ballincollig storm over the last couple of minutes. 2 occasions to defend inside their own 22. competitive game so far. Ballincollig go to their maul this time with a quick pick and move. Redmond peels off the back. Griffin. Again, that defence was rushing up, and Ballincollig just decided to straighten the ball and go that way. That one went back. But Pennyfeather is wrapped up there.
Yeah, Tammy Breen leading the way in tackles for Wicklow there. An experienced head, formerly of Blackrock, and has played with Leinster there too, and she's just leading her charges, particularly in the back line.
Full credit to Kathy Byrne
Come on, Wicklow! Go on, Ella!
for giving the base for this one. And hats off to Ella Roberts doing everything to keep that one alive.
Yeah, and it was a great spot by the winger Megan Parkinson to realise the space, and Ella Roberts was herring after it, but unfortunately just couldn't keep possession while trying to keep the ball in.
Parkinson comfortable at half back herself, so she's got the skill set to execute. And the double bounce. What way is Roberts going to let this one go? Required a bit of decisiveness there, and I think Ballincollig will be pretty happy with the result there.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't the best kick coming in there, but you never know with the bounce of a rugby ball, and it's gone in Ballincollig's favour there now. So Wicklow's line out here and looking like they'll be looking to relieve a bit of pressure themselves.
So Wicklow just inside their 10-metre line. A bobbling ball. And they've done very well there. I think that was Emily Ryan who jumped on it, but
refs called it not straight, unfortunately.
the call from Fiona Hayes, the Ballincollig head coach, is to go down the line. She might be 80 yards away, but we can hear her from here. An assured kick from Redmond.
She's kicked that out the Wicklow grounds, I think. Wouldn't surprise me to see Ballincollig go for the maul here. Some very experienced players in that pack. And, you know, this is the first time they've really been in the heart of the 22.
And it is the maul, but will they peel like they did the last time they had a chance? Or will they stay patient with this? Wicklow, we're getting a good shove on there, it must be said. Ballincollig looking to go through the hands into Mona Feely. An experienced operator.
Once again, Wicklow doing everything they can to disrupt the ruck and just not give anything easy for Ballincollig.
Line speed really impressive from Wicklow. Pennyfather has to cut back inside. Ormond wants it, gives it. Still going Ballincollig. That's Kennedy, really coming to form of late. Couple of tries in their win against Malone, but Wicklow once again can be happy with their work on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely, and Ella Roberts there in from full back, picking at the right moment when to come in and try and poach that ball, and great turnover for her team.
Bounce. Oh.
It's a very evenly contested match so far. Wicklow obviously leading on the scoreboard, but really nothing to separate them the sides other than that.
Wicklow. That's good gather there from Jessica Schmidt. Parkinson, Kelly and Fahy combining there. Griffin on the outside. They want her in touch. The call.
Clodagh Walsh, hooker for Ballincollig, in acres of space on the side of the wing, calling for the ball.
Will it be hands? Crash ball, Redmond. Get some change out of it.
And
Who's there to support her? It's back. That's Pennyfather. Griffin leaves it go. He just wasn't able to gather.
Yeah, ball was just a little bit too far in front of her there to get her two hands on it. And a turnover, unfortunately, for Ballincollig. But I've been really impressed so far with Denise Redmond. She's been at the heart of everything good for Ballincollig so far. You know, with huge carries, just dragging Ballincollig up the field. Wicklow very happy so far to put boot to ball inside their own 22 and back their defence in that way. And obviously Roberts has a great kick on her, but they've numerous options across the back line in terms of trying to clear the lines.
Conditions really good in Ashtown Lane this evening. Much credit to the hosts for the condition of the pitch and the lack of rain in this mild January evening. Redmond still going, still carrying, taking 3 players with her.
She is such a determined ball carrier, and she does so many good things for her team, and she set them up in a really, really nice position here.
Best attacking opportunity of the game so far. Ormond in there, going all the way to the line. Held up just about. Real scramble here now. And it's try Ballincollig approaching the half time. Some massive carries from the forward pack in there, and they've done it. And surely with that one in under the post is a chance for Redmond to level this up and really deliver on the promise they've shown in the last few minutes as they've grown into this game.
And absolutely, all came from huge carry from Denise Redmond, who's hoping to put the extras over here. But great work, very similar to the Wicklow try, keeping it tight, very short passes going through the phases, and they got the score under the post.
So Redmond standing over this one with a particular satisfaction. So critical to the scoring of this. Massive carry from her, real leadership. She'll catch her breath and look to dispatch this one to level the sides. Low trajectory, but it splits the posts. Wicklow 7, Ballincollig 7.
Right, come on, Wicklow, right back in now. Let's go, Wicklow!
Wicklow with a chance to maybe see if they can re-establish their lead within this first half. Redmond once again tireless in her carries. Griffin wanted this one. The wraparound has created some space. Ballincollig onto it. They're out onto the wing. Nice cut, that's Kennedy. Gets the ground, there's hands in there. Good clear out from Pennyfather.
Beautiful play there by Griffin. Nice little DSP in there to try and move the ball wide, and she caught Wicklow napping a little bit.
Tip on from Redmond. They go out wide. Fancy a kick chase. Ball goes through. Ballincollig happy with their lots there. But it does draw this first 40 minutes of action to a close. Score at half-time here in Ashtown Lane in the Energia All Ireland League Women's Division Conference Round 2. It's Wicklow 7, Ballincollig 7. Ballincollig to restart this game after such a strong finish to the end of that first half.
Come on, Wicklow!
Early opportunity. Wicklow in the second half to put hands on the ball. Gets out to Roberts. Every time she gets her hands on the ball, you know she's looking to do something.
Absolutely, she's a very dangerous player for Wicklow. Obviously, she's been involved with the Irish squad over the last number of months, and she's still very young, loads to learn, but she has great potential, and she's a great leader for this Wicklow team.
Come on, Wicklow! Go on, Wicklow. Come on, Emma. Let's get up for it. Go on, Jess.
6 in the line out. Lots of movement.
That's it. Well done, Jess.
It's a great take there from Jessica Smith. She's normally a flanker, but can also play in the second row. It was a great take and great lift by Niamh Drummond.
Great hands there, it has to be said. Lauren Barry. She'll go again here. Takes it this time. Gets to the deck. Secure ball. Challenging one here for Gemma Lane. Lauren Fahy gathers, looks to counter. Hands straight in there.
Come on, Wicklow!
That was a great kick there by Roberts once more. I've been really impressed by her kicking ability and, you know, finding the space.
The dink is on. The chase is good. Wicklow need to be smart here. Whistle blown. Looks like we've had a knock on.
Yeah,
Ballincollig will take that one.
that's unfortunate. I think that was Megan McConnell. Or sorry, Megan Parkinson it was, who just unfortunately couldn't pick it up. Tricky bounce there, and Ballincollig in a great position here now to pick up where they left off at the end of the first half.
Put in from Gemma Lane. Griffin goes wide. And it was a challenging one for Penny Father to gather. The
Opportunity here.
counter-attack is on. Look at the ambition here. It's out on the full, and it was advantage over from Wicklow's point of view.
It's desperately unlucky from Ella Roberts. She recognised the space in behind. She was tearing up the wing there, one-on-one with the defender, and unfortunately just couldn't connect with the kick and slice it a little bit and went out in the full.
You know, asking a kicker here, but it must be very, very difficult when you're going at full tilt to put some level of kind of craft or deftness into nudging the ball forward at the same time.
Absolutely, and look, unfortunately that one just didn't go her way, but you know, Ella hopefully will next opportunity put things right there, and you can guarantee she'll be ready to go again and try and improve on that.
Emer Douglas entering the fray for the home side. Emer from a family steeped in AIL tradition. She's a couple of brothers playing at this level as well. But you'd have to say that Lauren Barry certainly is a loss to this Wicklow side.
Absolutely, she's put in a great shift, some huge carries so far. Scrummaging has been excellent, but it's time for Emer and the rest of the pack to step up for Wicklow.
Griffin is growing in confidence in this game. Tammy Breen is, Megan Park, Alison Kelly is coming off her wing.
And that's huge pressure being put on by Wicklow. Flying up in defence, trying to make the tackles and cut off Ballincollig, and it's resulted in a turnover.
As I say, that another turnover. Yeah, just the other.
10 minutes, come the whole way. 10 minute line is yours.
Denise Redmond kicked this down to the 5 metre line. She'll have to.
Redmond with ball in hand. Oh, looks like she's gotten every inch out of that. That's a super kick to bring Ballincollig back into the 22.
Yeah, absolutely excellent kick there by Denise Redmond, and Ballincollig ready now to take this line out and hopefully can get a score from it.
Looked like a crooked in ball there. Another change on the Ballincollig side. Emer Perryman coming into the game. Another one of those Cork-produced players getting the chance to step up to the Energia All Ireland League with the reintroduction of a Cork team in this women's division.
Yeah, Emer, a former Highfield player, also represented Munster at underage, so it'd be great to see her get her hands on the ball and show what she can do, help this Ballincollig team.
And that's a reward for some super work being done in there by that pack.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe where Wicklow have missed Lauren Barry coming off first scrum there, and they've been dominated a little bit by Ballincollig, and here we go.
Late switch there. Fleming was the one to aim for the line. Out again. Looks like Clodagh Walsh in there this time. Lots of movement from Ballincollig, lots of keeping this defence honest.
Great footwork there from Kelly Griffin, the Ballincollig 10, and here we go, taking it quickly from the penalty.
Lane. That might be Claire Coombs. Try Ballincollig. Really look to up the tempo there.
Yeah, and Ballincollig just caught Wicklow napping a little bit with the quick tap and go, and as again, keeping it tight, giving it to their big ball carriers and resulting in a try.
Claire Coombs, another player of impressive rugby stock, brother of Gavin Coombs, a cousin of Liam Coombs. Claire, no stranger to provincial representation herself. And what an impact that Ballincollig bench has made there. Claire Coombs coming in.
Yeah, Ballincollig sticking to their strengths, keeping it tight with their strong, powerful forwards, getting the resultant try. And Claire Coombs used to play for Railway, and now back with Ballincollig. Great to see that, and as I said, Fee Hayes will be very happy with the impact her bench is having.
Denise Redmond adds the extras. And it is a 7-point lead now for Ballincollig, their first of the game. Beth Roberts to restart for Wicklow. Now they find themselves chasing the game in the second half. Despite even from inside their own 22, the threat that they bring and knowing that running threat that's there from Beth Roberts, it does surely mean that Ballincollig are almost second-guessing themselves in defence at all times. But sure enough, they got the turnover. And it is their lead to defend now. Beth, kick for touch, and does so successfully. The bench for both sides, Wicklow's, is Noelle Ward, Emer Douglas, Laura Newsom, Shauna Sodhi, Nicole Humby, Sue Brady and Sarah Gleeson, some of which you'll have already seen in this game. Breen back inside, still going.
Tammy Breen, always a willing runner for Wicklow in order to create the space out wide for her teammates.
Niamh Ní Groma brought to ground by Gillian Coombs. Through the channel, Orman trying to put the stop.
Beautiful
Sneaks
offload.
through. Wicklow might go all the way here. Griffey brought down, still alive, out wide. Roberts, the step, the try.
It's a great team try by Wicklow. Catching Ballincollig unawares around the fringes of the ruck. Nice little sniping done, beautiful offload, and then they move it out wide. And who else but Ella Roberts with the sublime footwork to score out in the wing. Tricky enough conversion here for Beth Roberts, but she's shown what a good left boot she has on her. The angle suits her, so let's see what she can do to level the scores.
Roberts, again that low trajectory. Tyrrell likes it, over she goes.
As a lefty myself, that was an absolutely beautiful strike. Just snuck over the posts, and we're all level. Game on.
This is the game we wanted, tight, competitive, entertaining. Parity restored for the home side, 14 points apiece.
Unconventional kick-off by Kelly Griffin there caused a bit of confusion for Wicklow. A couple of bounces there, but Ballincollig have managed to get that ball back because of it.
Cork women are on the charge again. Whistle's blown. And Emer Perryman is in there. Offside called, I think. And the brains trust of Ballincollig can gather and decide what to do with this attacking opportunity. And it looks like they may opt to trust their line out.
Yeah, and look, their line out's been fairly good so far, and with Denise Redmond's boot they're able to march themselves down the pitch and take that opportunity.
Ballincollig trust their line out, but looks like again it was a crooked one in.
And that's unfortunate for Ballincollig, because it looked like they'd caught Wicklow a little bit unawares on that one. They weren't quite ready to go, but just couldn't capitalise on that.
So we've seen in other scenarios like this in the game that Wicklow aren't afraid to try something.
I suppose when you've the likes of Ella Roberts and Vicky Kinnan in your back line, why not try something very explosive, pacey players with great footwork, and look, high risk, high rewards. Ballincollig looking very narrow, and Wicklow have a lot of width right here. So it'd be interesting to see what comes of it.
Ball is spilled. Did Ballincollig get on that? Looks like they did. Really great reactions there from Caitlin Fleming. Ballincollig turning defence into attack. That's Gillian Coombs. Nick Grumma trying to hold her up.
It's great defence just to slow Ballincollig while they're getting a bit of momentum.
Claire Coombs wraps around, hits the deck, but it's still going here.
There's only one
Lane is
Wicklow
over it.
player. Huge overlap for Ballincollig. Oh, if they could find it, but unfortunately.
Whistle's blown. We'll come back. Wicklow not rolling away there.
Ballincollig eager to go for the quick tap.
It served
Wicklow
them
scrambling.
well.
Interesting, they've gone for the post.
Somebody decided to have a calm word in the middle of all of that.
And that's probably Denise Redmond's experience there. Just go, look, it's an easy 3 points on the board to take. Let's reset, go again. But they had numbers out wide if the quick tap was going.
So Redmond with the chance to give her side back the lead for the second time in this game. No mistake from the Offaly woman, and Ballincollig leading now by 17 points to 14.
Absolutely sensible decision to take the guaranteed 3 points on the board and take the lead, and now Wicklow obviously have to kick back to you and you're going to regain possession. So it's up to Wicklow now to work hard and put a bit in a big shift in defence and get the ball back.
Come on, Wicklow, chase it up!
Both of these sides, of course, in their maiden campaign with lots to learn. By no means their first campaign for their clubs, but learning how to win at this level is a different ball game in many respects, and those 3 points could turn out to be absolutely precious in this game. Both sides would have had no small degree of ambition as well, knowing how the season was going to reset for the second half, and everyone with their eyes on the chance to play in that conference final, the chance to win a trophy at Energia All Ireland League women's division level. Optimism high in this. Lots of good news for 2022, and some good news for Wicklow here as well.
Kate Fleming again with another crucial turnover. But as you said, I think both these teams would have earmarked this game as an opportunity to get some points on the board. And you know, it's been a great contest so far. At the minute, Ballincollig just shading it on the scoreboard, but an opportunity now for Wicklow off the back of that Fleming turnover.
Roberts with a clean touch finder, that's what you want. Teammates appreciative of that one. Approaching the water break in this second half.
Just an important line out here now for Wicklow. Robin Mullen to throw in, and hopefully we get a good clean ball off the back of that for the Wicklow backs.
That one's over the top. Ballincollig to gather. Missed opportunity for Wicklow. Griffin has hands out, puts boot to ball. That one will find touch.
Yeah, nice clearance kick there from Griffin. Again, they've just turned over the ball, so just want to relieve that pressure. It leads us to a water break.
Wicklow keeping things simple, 4-player line out. But it's crooked in there, Noelle Ward. Introduction to her for the game. Go from line out throwing to scrumming down.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, but Noelle and the Wicklow pack now have an opportunity to put in a big shift here in the scrum and try and win the ball against the hedge.
Come on, Wicklow!
So Douglas and Ward, replacement front row players, into
Come
the
on,
game.
Wicklow!
Ballincollig
That's it!
get this moving through Gemma Lane. Erin McConnell had to resist temptation there. Lane and Griffin combining once more. That one's slightly behind Pennyfather. But look at him go.
It was the first time we got to see Heather Kennedy really stretch the legs there, and just unfortunate with the offload went to a Wicklow player there who was tracking back and working hard.
Pod is set up for Wicklow. Strong carry there. Looks like a backs ball. It's dinked over the top here. Challenging one for Lane to gather. She does very well there to straighten up.
She did excellent to take that on the bounce and gain a few metres in the carry after that.
But it does mean that Ballincollig are without a scrum half, so they'll pick and jam.
Denise Redmond playing all over the park there. She was 9 as well.
That might be Emer Perryman with the carry.
And once again, Wicklow constantly competing at the ruck.
Nearly there. Emer Douglas thought she was able to snaffle something. Still Ballincollig on their 10-metre line. Might need to run some of the ball here. The dummy from Fahy. Ballincollig could be in trouble here. Combination of isolation on the Ballincollig side, but smart work on defence from Wicklow as well.
Yeah, and it was great hands by Ballincollig, but unfortunately Alison Kelly just got a little bit too isolated from her pod, and Wicklow have been contesting rucks all game, managed to get in there once again.
This one may not make touch.
Great take from Alison Kelly and clearance as well.
Really confident. It's backed out. Ella Roberts. The kind of thing that brings a crowd to life. Decent kick over the top. And that's a nice bit of work there and a different demonstration of the Ella Roberts skill set.
Yeah, definitely. As one thing is you don't want to be kicking straight back to Ella Roberts because you know that she can punish you there. Looked like she was about to take off, but spotted the space in behind and put in a nifty little kick. And again, once again, pressure all on Ballincollig. And so it's Ballincollig scrum in their own 22, looking to clear their lines a little bit. Couple of positional switches for Wicklow. Tammy Breen has moved from centre to the wing with Sarah Gleeson coming on in place of Megan McConnell. And with that, Ballincollig clear their lines, and it'll be a Wicklow line out just outside the 22.
Love your work, Tyrrell.
Did you get see any of the sevens earlier on?
No.
The Ireland lads had a lovely little trick line out where they peeled around and scored try to beat Australia last night.
I think it's fair to say at this point that the line-out has proved to be a little bit of a lottery between missed timings and missed deliveries, but it's Wicklow now. Elms Kinlan back inside.
That is just exceptional work from Vicky Kinlan. Like a knife through butter on that one. Nobody could tackle her.
Real energy here, and Nigrumma with a massive carry.
Huge handoff, but Denise Redmond holds on.
Still going, attacking options outside. It's Roberts with the spill.
Yeah, I think Ella Roberts saw the try line in sight and just got a little bit too excited on that one, and there was unfortunately a knock-on in that, and Ballincollig survived once again.
So the team of three here having a little chat, led by Lloyd Ellis-Dempsey. And that strong carry from Nigrumma in there. Discussions around the legality of the fend.
Yeah. It looks like it'll be a penalty to Ballincollig. Huge discussions going on between referee and linesman.
No malintent there, it has to be said, and Nigrumma is able to apologise and move on. Just a penalty on this occasion. I think you'd have to say well handled by the match officiating team and indeed the players on that one.
Absolutely, and I think that's the right call. As you said, there was no malice intended by Niamh Ní Drumish, just looking to put her team on the front foot, and it would have been sad to see her have to go off for that, but just a penalty. Denise Redmond clear, fortunately doesn't find touch.
So counter-attacking opportunity here. The pass is flat. It's to Jessica Schmidt. Roberts steps in at 9, looking to go wide. Ball over the top again, a challenger. And that's a superb touch finder out there.
Absolutely, and that's a couple of times Wicklow have tried to find that space in behind and to chase after it. Again, bounce the ball going against them on that occasion. But it's been called a 50-22, and so it's going to be Wicklow ball just on the edge of 22.
Come on, Wicklow!
Wicklow may not have a huge degree of experience at this level, a player pool you can call on to deliver at all times, but they have pace, they have ambition, they're well drilled, and they're attacking on the Ballincollig 22. That's one of the better lineouts we've seen in this second half. Great step back inside. The shooters from Ballincollig doing their job, it has to be said.
Huge line speed from Ballincollig, just putting loads of pressure on Wicklow and ensuring that their handling and their skills are right.
Pods at the ready for Wicklow, but the pick and go has snuck a couple of metres out of it. Still going here. Goes out to the two replacements trying to combine in there, Laura Newsom and Shauna Sodi.
Yeah, and it was lovely hands by Sodi. Newsom just wasn't quite ready for it, but advantage being played, I think, for trying to rip the ball on the ground. So it'll be a Wicklow penalty.
Hannah with the game poised as it is. This isn't an easy one, but does look like the right decision for the opportunity and the scoreboard as it is.
Yeah, and look, it's a big decision from Wicklow, but obviously Beth Roberts thinks that she has this well within her range, and we saw a great strike for the last converted try, and you know, this will level up the scores in what has been an evenly and tightly contested match.
So Beth Roberts, 21 points in the All Ireland League. Kitog gives it welly. Had the height, it's to the left of the posts.
It's unfortunate, I don't think she struck it as well as she would have liked, and it's gone slightly wide in that, and it's a bit of a let-off for Ballincollig and their discipline.
Interesting to see the call from Ciara Fitzgerald in there, the Ballincollig 8, to just calm it down. Claire Coombs echoing those sentiments. And after a degree of consultation, it's a nice daisy cutter there from Griffin, asking questions of the Ballincollig rearguard.
Absolutely, and as I said, very unconventional technique when it comes to the dropout, but each time Wicklow, it seems like they're not expecting it and it's causing confusion, and it's giving Ballincollig an opportunity to rush up in defence.
Sport, as in life, whatever works. And referee's going to make a call here, and Ballincollig can be happy with their lot.
And that's a super defensive shift from Ballincollig. Spotted there was an opportunity to hold the player up, forced it into a maul, and didn't let possession go back to Wicklow. And now it's their ball.
Super. One of the big learnings for both of these sides in their opening campaigns in the AIL has been around squad depth and what that means to put together blocks of games where you're really expected to be competitive at a high level. And I think we're seeing in this game that whilst there has been a lot of learning moments in there for both squads, we are seeing some fine players come in as replacements and really make an impact in this game, changing the shape of the pack, it must be said, for Ballincollig, that little extra bit of weight. Wicklow, for their side, have some good ball carriers and good speed, real bravery from Griffin in there, and manages to present back pencil, textbook stuff. Good fight in there. That's Elms Kinlan attacking again.
Yeah.
Seeing some of the skill set from Elms Kinlan, you would know this as well. You really need to be able to do it all as a sevens player, and she's really showing that.
Absolutely, and I've been impressed by a number of players on both sides of the pitch, not least both 10s on either side. You know, Beth Roberts with the boot has been exceptional, and Griffin for Ballincollig, as we just saw there, putting her body on the line, not afraid to run the hard lines and set up good position for her team. She's not the biggest player on the pitch, but she stands up well and she's doing a great job for her team.
Redmond takes the breath, pulls the trigger. It's not quite up into the 22, but it's not a million miles away from where Ballincollig want to be.
Yeah, and look, Ballincollig are very pleased with this. You know, they want to be playing in Wicklow's half. They have the lead now and they're just trying to pile on pressure, and you know, the more they're attacking, less chance there is for Wicklow to score.
Never been more than a score between these two sides across this game. Just a kick of a ball between them right now. Fair showing as to where they were when they met during the regular season as well, although that was to be Wicklow's day. Centres trying to switch, but it left Pennyfather with a lot of work to do. It is back with the Cork women. Clodagh Walsh.
Again, another willing runner, but she's been ripped by, I think it's Ella Roberts, is it?
It is, not to mind the hair or even the number on the back of her jersey, simply how she moves and the swerve, that natural low gravity that she brings to her speed. You could pick her out of a lineup. But her side are trailing in this game.
Yeah, Wicklow need to start really taking their opportunities now. They're behind on the scoreboard. You know, they really need to start putting lots of pressure on this Ballincollig defence and marching up the pitch.
We're at the stage of the season where both Wicklow and Ballincollig, after a period where they were happy to focus on the performance and what that would bring, they know they're into the results end of these things. And Ella Roberts absolutely scything through the Ballincollig defence. Massive carry.
I tell you what, Jane Pennyfeather has chased Ella Roberts 50 yards across to make that tackle. Same with Heather Kennedy coming across from the other wing. Two of them involved in a huge collision there with Ella Roberts, putting their body on the line, working extremely hard to preserve their lead, and it's come out in their favour. Ella Roberts called for holding on.
It's one of the great things about this sport that quite often there's a great piece of defence to go with a great piece of attack.
That one I could catch. That one was a little too close for comfort. I actually could have caught that, but I'm like, I better not in case I fall off this container. Imagine going back. How'd you get injured? Well.
last scene in Wicklow.
Yeah. They don't pay me enough.
Come on, Wicklow!
Nice switch in them all here. Ballincollig getting 10 yards out of it before they go to the backs. That was Alison Kelly sitting deep, but Roberts is onto it again. Such excitement when she gets on this ball. Pops it back up. Still going down that far side.
You'd have to think maybe that was an ill-judged kick by Alison Kelly there, kicking it straight to Ella Roberts, the Wicklow danger woman. And again, she returned it with interest, and Wicklow now another opportunity to try and score.
Roberts spots the gap. Great work from the young scrum half. Looks like we'll go back. Ballincollig not rolling away.
The crowd really getting behind the Wicklow team here, trying to urge them on, desperate for them to get that score, to either bring them level or get them to take the lead again.
Wicklow, has to be said, one of the best supported clubs in the Energia All Ireland League women's division. Vocal locals doing their thing. To be fair, the men's side have been great to add to the numbers and the sing-song, it must be said. But the serious business of rugby here sees Ballincollig. And once again, that line out just not being a secure platform for either side in this game.
Yeah, and it's just really unfortunate for Wicklow. They had their tails up there, and you know, they had a really good platform from which to go to, but unfortunately the line-out just malfunctioning, and Ballincollig now have possession in what is the final few minutes of this game.
And we're just getting into that part of the game where the question time ref is being asked with greater frequency and greater urgency. Wicklow know they have to chase this one. It's a home game in the conference element of this competition.
I think Wicklow have turned it over here, judging by the reaction of the crowd.
Huge scramble. That bench is so invested, really trying to drive on the 15 players that are out on the pitch. Look at that fight that's in there. And this is a prime opportunity for Wicklow. They can't afford any errors.
I think Wicklow got away with one there. That looked like a very good steal from Ballincollig, but unfortunately ref has deemed that to be illegal, and once again Wicklow have the ball.
So after going to the line out this time, they'll opt to carry. Oh, and it's a rip in there. And if Ballincollig can get an exit on this, they will take a huge boost from it. Hannah Tyrrell has spotted Ella Roberts lurking for the potential of the counter-attack.
There's plenty of space in the backfield if Ballincollig can spot it, once they keep it away from the dangerous Ella Roberts.
Still in there. What a significant turnover this could prove to be.
There is a pile of bodies on either side of the ruck at the minute. Each team so desperate to retain possession or get in possession.
So apparent how high the stakes are at this point. Griffin finds touch. Play will continue. He's down. Throw to watch.
I think she had to find touch there. As you said, Ella Roberts was lurking. don't want to be kicking the ball straight to her and giving her an opportunity to run it back. So wise decision to make sure that went into touch.
Wicklow claiming a line out just when they really needed to. The maul runs, but it's back's ball. How quickly can they get on this? They're going to need to. It's a 50-50 that somehow has popped up to Ella Roberts. Tries to keep it alive. The ball is kicked through. Anything could happen here. Referee's going to bring it back. Looks like nobody's happy with this outcome.
I'm sure there's a couple of Ballincollig players who might be too happy there, but once again, Ella Roberts gets her hands on the ball, and huge defence and tackle there once again by Heather Kennedy coming across to save her team.
What a way to finish this game. Roberts, the constant threat, but the full-time whistle has blown here, and it is Ballincollig who will celebrate. An away win, a tight margin, 17 points to 14. Hannah Tyrrell, it may not be the result that Wicklow wanted, but as an occasion and as a game, it's the thing that we all deserved.
Yeah, look, it was a great spectacle, great game of rugby to be played, both sides giving it everything, both in attack and defence, and the resolute defence of Ballincollig coming up trumps at the end there, huge tackle being putting in, and Wicklow will be disappointed, but there's plenty of positives to take from that, and Ballincollig can make the journey home knowing that big 4 points on the road for them.
Wicklow's search for a first win in the conference section of the Energia All Ireland League Women's Division continues for Ballincollig. 2 games played, 2 games won, sitting pretty as they are. Final score here from Ashtown Lane. It is Wicklow 14, Ballincollig 17.